Everybody. Are we live? Is it broadcasting? Are we on YouTube? Yes, we are live on YouTube. Are we live up on X? Let's just check this out. We are live on X, but not seeing any image. 为什么? Yeah, I can see. Nice. Look at this clear blue image. We're live on LinkedIn too. Look at this. Okay, according to Riverside, which is the tool we use for broadcasting here, we are live. Let me just verify. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Yeah, it's Thanksgiving today, Thursday, November 28th. And I guess you all know I come Tuesday and Thursday, same time, same place, same venue. And yeah, look, I'm coming from a different location, a different geographical location. I'm currently in Hong Kong. As most of you know, I used to spend some time building mobile networks in China. 我会说中文. So for all of those that know Chinese, I was just saying I can speak Chinese. 我住了北京5年多吧. I lived in Beijing for 5 years and was traveling throughout China, learning all sorts of different languages. And I have a big network in Asia and in Hong Kong. This was actually where we first founded Truflation. It was incubated in a office, a dinky little office with a camera inside that office, with furniture that was still boxed and wrapped and not set up. And there was a camera monitoring what you were doing in that office room. And we were talking about inflation and how big is inflation? Is this worth betting on? And we went down that path. And today we have Truflation. Everybody thought we were crazy. And today it's live. So anyway, I come to you every Tuesday and Thursday, same time, same place, on these various channels. And excited to give you a bit of an update of what's happening on YouTube, on the macroeconomic space, in Truflation, and also just sort of general news and views. I'm Stefan Rust. I'm the founder and CEO of Truflation.com, truflation.com. Yeah, having really exciting meetings over here in Hong Kong. And just to give you, it was really funny. I was just give you some screenshots. I haven't yet had a meeting, but I had scheduled to have a meeting next week with one of Truflation's fans. And guess what? He got into a taxi and took a picture of this. So in a Hong Kong taxi, someone had stuck the Truflation sticker on the back of a headrest in a cab. And so Alex Feeney, I hope you don't mind, I'm sharing a photo here, but here he is, proud, and I'm meeting him next week. So look forward to meeting Alex next week and talking about Truflation and what we're doing and some of the plans. Meetings have been really good. I mean, amazing reception. Everybody's extremely intrigued. The intellectual appetite for data and how to use data and structuring this data is very high in this market. I'm wearing a collared shirt because I've been having various meetings in more of the traditional finance world. So less in crypto, more in traditional finance. And they love the Truth Network. And they love it because it's an SQL-based blockchain focused on data. It's doing to data what Bitcoin did to money. And so they really love that concept. And we have a consensus algorithm, as all of you know, on the Truth Network, which is now the software stack that powers and runs Truflation. That's all it's going to do. That's all we're going to focus on for the next 6 months. We're going to tune, hone, and perfect the Truth Network for Truflation. And we've got some really interesting features coming in 2026. We're here getting ready for the next year. And there are two economies that matter around the world. One is the US, by far the biggest economy in the world, and the most innovative, the most driven, the most competitive. And then there's China. China is the second largest economy in the world. It's the one that matters. It has flex power. It has a lot of engineering grads, and it has a 5-year plan. And one thing you know for sure is China executes across that 5-year plan. The rest of the world, or the US, works in its economic calendar, and China works on its 5-year plan. And so, two more economies, two inflation rates, two economic data sets that really matter to the world. And we're exploring what we should be doing and how we should be looking and approaching the China market. Anyway, that's one of the reasons why I'm here, in addition to a couple of other things which we'll share going forward as well. So stay tuned and look at that. But more importantly, rather than talking too serious, obviously, today's Thanksgiving. So again, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And everybody's talking about the cost of the Thanksgiving meal, right? How expensive is it? And so here, a quick show that was put together on Fox. So you got to take it with a pinch of salt. It is obviously Fox, but it's also sell something slightly different. Sorry, but remember, right? So before I go into this, they're going to say that the cost of Thanksgiving dinner is coming down. Democrats say it's too high, and here what the survey says by Fox News is that it's coming down. And if you were on our spaces last week, you will have heard that we were talking about bringing down the data to be connectable and relatable to people. How do we make all of this dry data that is incomprehensible in some, with the mumbo jumbo speak that all these economists do, that have lost touch with the reality and what real people are experiencing? How do we simplify and put effort into that simplification so that everybody can understand what inflation really is and what is really happening, right? And I think whilst we see on Truflation.com, you can see what is inflation, and you only see a 2% number, right? But that is not what everybody's experiencing, right? Because remember, I've said it so many times, but true inflation is a reflection of the prices of that's changed from year to year. So how has the cost of living changed in the last year? If you go to the aggregate view, it paints a very different story. All of a sudden, cost of living has gone up 30% in the last 5 years, right? So that's a significant change. And how does that get reflected accordingly, right? And so that's something we got to look at. And here you can see the aggregate view. It's 28.4%. So quite high. And that's what everybody's feeling up. Wage inflation rate. So here we can compare wage inflation rate. So it's coming, and here you can see the aggregated inflation and wages. Wages not moving at all, only at a 5%. And so that's what's really confusion. It's really the contrast in terms of how are my wages being adjusted to the cost of living. And when we say inflation, the new 3 is the new 2. So forget this 2%. It's some arbitrary number anyway. And we've been saying that 3% is the new 2. But if 3% is the new inflation, which if you come back to the year-on-year view, we're sort of in that range. Okay, we're still below, which is great if we're below that. But if the salary comparisons and inflation is equal to that or greater than this 2%, then automatically it's a far better experience. And ultimately, the cost of living becomes cheaper because the wage inflation is greater than the cost increase of goods. And so that is ultimately the end goal that we're having in mind. And I don't know why I'm stuck here. Guys, I'm going to talk to my engineering department in terms of how we can accelerate this by adding more RAM or something. But here you can see, if I want to now compare, I go to salaries again. And here we see wage inflation rate, compare. So here we will now see it being, this is the year-on-year view. Why is it up at 250%? It should be not up at 50%. It hasn't, you at Truflation, it should take the year-on-year number. Why is it taking, this is still the aggregate number, guys. And there's a bit of a bug in here. Anyway, so let's just go back to the cost of living and have a look here. Numbers don't lie, Democrats do. Anyway, you can see that there. There you've got a pie chart. How has it moved in pricing? Does that reflect with you? Are you guys experiencing the same costs of goods? Let me know. Put that in the comments. Be interesting to see and hear. Yeah, I think that's really what we are experiencing. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, so yeah, you can see that. But I think one of the things, why are the costs coming down? And I know there's been a lot of complaints that they're using generic products. So if you were listening to the spaces, we will have identified why is the cost of food coming down. So if I come back to Truflation, you can see in here that in the composition itself, I go to foods and beverages, and you can see here how food has come down significantly, right? So food away from home. So food away from home has come down, and food at home as well. But food at home, largely huge drop in food at home. So if I take food away from home, you can see the food at home number, significant decline in products. And so why is that the case? And Oliver highlighted in the spaces the other day that this is largely because a lot of the grocery stores are bringing in generic brands. So they're branding the products with their own brand and no longer using pricey brands. So you don't get Kleenex, you just get napkins and tissues from Walmart, from Costco, from all of the other manufacturers that are out there doing their products. And so that's really what's taking place. And that obviously is also what's driving this cost coming down over here. Yeah, you lost my share, didn't you? So you didn't even see that. Yeah, so you can see this here. Again, it's coming down. Look at that coming down. That's again because of generic products coming in. So you're getting in-house HEB branded products. You're getting Costco branded products. You're getting Walmart branded products. You're getting Meadowlands branded products, et cetera, right? So all of those things are beginning to kick in, and that's what's driving down the cost. So you don't have that bloated marketing component to the brand or the turkey or the stuffing or the pumpkin pie or the milk. It's just a generic brand. And so that's what you're seeing here. And I think this is again echoed by Hassett. Hassett is considered to be one of the candidates to possibly replace Jerome Powell. Let's see. And he's talking
that was
here.
the anchor. He
Look at talks about this
favorite moments on a Sunday show for me last week was on one of the Sunday shows. You can look it up. I won't attack the poor fellow that was the anchor. He criticized the fact that Walmart said that the Thanksgiving dinner is cheaper by, I think it was about $10 for a typical Thanksgiving dinner. And then he said, "Oh yeah, but they substituted generic stuff, as if like having a generic something is a crime for ordinary folks." It shows how out of touch these people are. I get generics all the time. I'm just saying.
So again, just confirmed here, the same topic, right? So we can see that right here. Yeah, confirming again what Truflation has been talking about all the time. So good to see. Yeah, so ultimately, I think what we're looking for, come December 10th, a Fed rate cut. Hopefully we get that. 80% believe in a 25 basis point cut. I'm hoping for a 50 basis point cut. I mean, I think Too Late Powell is going to go down in history as the guy that called inflation transitory and was just too late to do anything about it and was protecting the Democrats all along. And the data in the BLS was lying and it was not accurate. And they were basing it on inaccurate, false data sets. And so that's the case. And, you know, that's what he's going to go down for. And you can see the same. We've got this Fed decision in Kalshi. Something. Oh no, it's like now it isn't to write home about. We went into all of the issue that we had in the past, but you know, crypto is still not doing too well. I mean, it's still at 91,000. It's still above the 20,000 rate, but you know, we've got to get it up there back to the 121,000. You know, we have Trump talking about 175,000 by the end of the year. Is that realistic? Will we be able to achieve that? Who knows, you know, but let's continue to fight the good cause and try to make it happen. Yeah, look, you know, I don't know if it's really worth it. None of you want to really hear about the issues going on in the world on Thanksgiving. In fact, we should just be enjoying the Thanksgiving, enjoying the fact that things are coming down. But there is one thing that I will discover a bit later on and share, really some of the great indexes that Truflation has been working on. And you can see here, you know, obviously we have our Truflation index, a price index, but also we have the Truflation PCE index, right? And so you can see where we've launched a PCE index that is live, right? And you can see here PCEs come down significantly, and we do this real time. We have detailed methodology in terms of how it's all calculated. You can see what is included in there, right? So you can see all of the details included in there: durable goods, motor vehicle parts, etc., etc. So you have goods, services, and all of that is broken down in weighting, as you can see here. This will be reflected on the front end site in the next couple of weeks. And if you're a premium subscriber, you will get all of these data sets. These indexes are also going to be available on some other platforms that we'll be sharing and some news about as well. And why is the PC important, right? So if you're not following Nip Timurus, he is really, you know, sort of very close with the Fed and is really the chief economist, the Wall Street author of $1 trillion triage. Sorry, and it's really late here, but I want to deliver this to you. Excuse the delay and maybe my lack of enthusiasm and energy that I usually try to bring out and spew to get you all excited. But wait, either way, you know, he's really on top of it. He knows what the Fed is looking at and is always monitoring, tracking their things. But he comes in and talks about September. Oh my God, we're end of November and we're talking about 2-month-old data. Who gives a rat's ass? I mean, really serious. Sorry, that was bad language. I apologize. Beep, beep, beep. But I mean, come on, we need to get more real and more up to date and faster data sets. And we need everybody to be able to access all of these data sets simultaneously so that there is equal advantages for everybody. That's what we're trying to do at Truflation. We're trying to bring to you Bloomberg in real time, all the time. And so here you can just see all of the data sets that we're trying to do. And you can see a direct comparison about the PCE itself and the Truflation CPI index, how we actually correlate the two together, and why we believe our PCE is more accurate than, or a better reflection, up to date all the time, every day, and not just once a month. So you get it all here. So check it out. You can find this in the methodology page. When you tap into docs over here, you can see the methodology. So check it out here. You can see this over here when you go into this tab. Yeah, so that's what we've been working on. The other index that I love a lot and I would love to share with you is the Truflation Bitcoin Purchasing Power Index. What is this? What the hell does that title mean? What is this all about? And so what we're doing is we're identifying, so if you hover over the I, the Truflation BPPI shows how much of the commodity basket you could buy with one Bitcoin. And we know the Bitcoin price has dropped significantly. And so as a result, one Bitcoin buys you only 112 baskets of the world's consumption in commodities. And so if you look at this over max, though, you can see how it's increased significantly. And we're now back down at December 1. So we're more or less the same range as where we were a year ago. So all of the gains, this whole volatility element that happened, we're still back where we were a year ago. So basically no progress. Why are we not making progress? You know, it was really funny. I had a meeting today with a financial services company that is ex-bankers that left and created a fintech company. And all they're trying to do is take stable coins as deposits and then allow you to use that stable coin to purchase traditional fiat indexed products. So understand this, right? So we're extracting liquidity from the crypto products, from internet capital markets, and making the traditional crypto, the crypto funds, making that available to the traditional institutions and the traditional institutional products that are compliant, KYC, limited to only few. And we are making that available and taking liquidity away from the hard-earned crypto community, from the battles that we've gone over for the last 10 years to build internet capital markets. We're now taking that away and putting that into traditional banking systems on traditional banking rails with all of the middlemen to actually build these traditional financial products. I'll just let that sink in and just stop there. And so what we're trying to do is create new products, right? We haven't come a year, and I think largely out of that meeting, it just shows me that we've gone in this roundabout way for trying to create new rails, change the existing system, enable rapid deployment of new products accessible to all instantly at no cost, to now actually, no, hang on. Let's slow down everything. Let's make sure that we're compliant. Let's make sure we spend $1 million. Let's make sure we pay all the lawyers and accountants and consultants and advisors to put together a product that we don't even know. It takes us a year to do so because we need all of those to get consensus, and then launch this product in a market, and we don't even know that the market wants it, and we're only going to make it available to pension funds and 5 people. So that's how weird the world has become. And I think that is partially the reason why we have retracted in the development and evolution of the crypto market. But I think what we've tried to do here is build out this basket. What does this basket look like? It consists of 3 different products. So here you can see agriculture product, energy products, and metals. So energy and metals haven't really moved that much, right? So I'll take out the Bitcoin index here. Why? Come on. I should be able to delete it. Oh man, my computer, I've got too many tabs open, guys. I'm really sorry. But that's, I've been presenting all day off the same machine, but you can see all the data sets. Where do we get these data sets from? You can see here, multitude of different data sets. If you go into the composition, you can see here, energy, metals, agriculture. This is from the pink sheet. What is the pink sheet? The pink sheet is from the World Bank. It's a monthly data release that provides historical and current US dollar prices. So it's a basket that prices a wide range of internationally traded commodities along with. And so what we're trying to do, instead of having it US dollar denominated, to make it available in Bitcoin. So you can actually see how Bitcoin is allowing you to purchase more and more of a wide range of commodities. What are those commodities? And here you can see they break down into three big headline categories: energy, 58%, metals, 23%, and agriculture, only 19%. And so in agriculture, we have corn, wheat, soy, feeder cattle, and live cattle futures. So that's what we've done. Metals, you can see all the breakdown here, and energy basically in three different categories. And so that's what you get to see in the breakdown. How do we get to this data? What is the background of it? So we start off with trying to look at the pink sheet. What does the World Bank issue in there? They have all of these elements in there. We need to make sure we have multiple providers. So we go to Newcastle Coal Futures, Rotterdam Coal Futures. So you can see here where we go and pull this data from. So we go, what are the weightings? What are the sources? What are the dynamic averages? So you have all the feeders in here. Where are we extracting the data from? What is the source of data? So you can see all of these different data sets that we're adding in here and making available through APIs and the sources that we're pulling in. At the same time, you can then see how we take that and then break this down and what this looks like. So here we have the global commodities basket, right? So this is in black, and we have the Bitcoin as it relates to number of Bitcoins that are available to purchase baskets, right? This is only done, bear in mind, to January 23. And you can see here the weighting: oil through to silver, precious metals, normal metals, etc., right? So you can see all of this in here and what this looks like. And so that's ultimately where it is. You can then see different, the prices to the US dollar, what are the monthly prices of each of the products, and then you can see it broken down in a different way. And you have descriptions of everything. So this is all the work that goes into developing these ultimate baskets. And here you can see weights used by the World Bank Commodity Price Index. So you can see here. And so rather than reinventing the wheel, let's just take the wheel that's already been developed. And then how do we actually put this together and develop this Bitcoin Purchasing Power Index for commodities? Anyway, hope that sheds a bit of light in terms of all the work that goes into creating such an index. And you can then see right now it's no longer 50. So when this was done, when did we finish this? This was done 2023. I think you can go down to the bottom here. We were August 2023, and that was 48 baskets for one Bitcoin. And today you can see over here, we are at 112. So either way, you're having greater purchasing power. Your basket is bigger. That trolley and shopping trolley with Bitcoin is bigger. I just wanted to share that with you. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'll save you time and enjoy the Thanksgiving. I'll see you again on Tuesday and look forward to catching up. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the weekend and see you next Tuesday. Bye for now.